Hello, everybody. This is the resident old man from RW Wrestling Podcast, and I'm here with another Random Mass Daily Match review. And I got a nice little old one here. We're going way back. We're going way back, all right. We're going back to 2002. That's right. All right, so we got Hulk Hogan versus Chris Jericho. This is the main event of Smackdown on May 2nd, 2002, and it is for the undisputed WWF Championship. Yeah, this was still a good time in wrestling, but I have to admit, the Undisputed title was not. I was not a fan of the Undisputed title and how it was handled. But I'll get to that in a little bit later. Not to mention having Hulk Hogan be the Undisputed champion definitely was something I wasn't keen on either. But again, I'll get to that a little bit later. So the story going into this match was Jericho lost the Undisputed title because he was the first one who won it back in November of 2001, and he lost it to Triple H at WrestleMania. So this is his first chance at getting another rematch since WrestleMania 18. So Mr. McMahon helped out Jericho by making this match a no disqualification match, and said that if Triple H makes any physical contact to Chris Jericho, Triple H will be fired. And since there was the brand split was occurring now, Mr. McMahon made a deal with Raw GM Ric Flair that the Undertaker would not interfere, because all these wrestlers were kind of feuding with each other, so there's a lot of moving parts in this one, and all would kind of play, and all of these and all of this would play would play a role in the finish of this match. So interesting. First, we get the break the walls down. Yeah, Chris Jericho's nice. I love his entrances since the beginning. With the Y2J clock. He had a bunch of variations on that. This theme was when had like a Y2J clock, and it would turn into a pinball and go through like a maze. It looked like a 3D maze. It was really cool. And he gets booed out of the building because he's a great heel. Okay, and his opponent, and we get Real American, and we get Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And one thing I will say, even though I wasn't a fan of Hollywood Hulk Hogan having the title, I will say this guy is over. Jeez, I remember WrestleMania, his match with The Rock at WrestleMania 18, just like, a month and a half prior to this. And I was hoping at the end of the match, I was thinking Rock should attack Hulk Hogan after this match to create like a cool little double turn. But can't get everything. Anyway, so I also dig Hollywood Hogan's kind of fusion of the NWO gear that he had and the red and yellow. So he has the red and yellow gear, but he has the those what do you call them? They're not tassels. Those big long scarves that he had, but they're what do you call those things? I forget. Anyway, you all know what I mean. So I may be in the minority, but I was never a fan of Hulk Hogan getting a run with the Undisputed title. I know it was only a month, but he never needed it. And sometimes when a new title is established, you want to get people with name recognition to have it. But this belt didn't need it. You have plenty of guys on the roster here who could have had a more significant run with the title. Not to mention that this title was as hot potatoes since the inception of it, but back in 2001. Jericho had it for a couple of months going into WrestleMania, so that was kind of cool. But then Triple H wins it, then Hulk Hogan gets it a month later, and then Undertaker gets it a month later after that, and then Taker loses it to The Rock 2 months later. Then The Rock drops it to Brock Lesnar a month later at SummerSlam. So we had 5 undisputed champions within a year. Not sure I agree with that, but that's what went down. So I would have preferred, and not to mention, I've always been a proponent of having one world champion in your company, not 2. So they had so after Brock beat The Rock at SummerSlam, the each brand would get a world title, and then we had the big gold belt comes back as the world heavyweight title, which would be featured on Raw, and the WWE title would be featured on SmackDown. So it's it always seemed odd to have the WWE, which is the World Wrestling Entertainment World Heavyweight Championship, and then you have the World Heavyweight Championship. It just seems kind of redundant. And now we have the WWE title and the Universal title. Which one should have more prominence? Well, obviously, since we're in WWE, it should be the WWE title. But it's not. Sometimes it's the Universal title. And sometimes around 2002, 2003, the World Heavyweight title would have more prominence than the WWE title, which to me never made any sense. Okay. So Hogan's in the ring, and he is, like I said, he's over. The crowd is popping huge for Hulk Hogan, and like I said, rightfully deserved. I just wish he never had the title. All right, so Chris Jericho's in the ring, and he is ready. Hogan's in the ring, and he's ready. And since the crowd is chanting Hogan really, really loud, they must obviously be ready. The ref says, "Ring the bell," and here we go. All right, so Hogan and Jericho lock up twice, with both times ending up with Jericho being shoved away. Another Hogan chant breaks out. They lock up again, Hogan with a side headlock. Jericho tries to escape with a wrist lock, but Hogan reapplies the side headlock. Jericho sends Hogan over off the ropes, and Hogan hits Jericho with a shoulder tackle. Jericho charges Hogan, and Hogan hits an arm drag on Jericho. Hogan has a scoop slam on Jericho. Hogan puts an arm wringer on Jericho and adds a couple elbows to Jericho's arm. A couple elbow strikes to Jericho's arm. Jericho rakes Hogan's eyes and follows up with a back suplex. Crowd boos the shit out of Jericho here. Jericho takes his bandana. Jericho takes Hogan's bandana and wipes his armpits with it. Crowd continues to boo the crap out of Jericho. Good heel stuff here. Jericho kicks Hogan 3 times while Hogan was down, and then proceeds to mock Hogan's "I can't hear your brother" arm gesture. Jericho runs the ropes and misses an elbow drop. Hogan punches and chops Jericho into a corner. Hogan whips Jericho into the opposite corner, but eats a back elbow from Jericho. Jericho climbs to the top rope, but takes too much time, and Hogan intercepts Jericho on the top rope with a punch and a body slam off the top rope. Nice pop from the crowd at this point for Hogan, since he just regained control. Jericho retreats to a corner and tries to beg Hogan off, but Hogan's having none of it, and he continues to punish Jericho in the corner with punches and kicks. Hogan climbs to Bret's rope and does that little 10 punch spot while the crowd counts along. Jericho hits a low blow to Hogan after Hogan stops at the 8th punch, and Hogan bumps to the floor. Punches and kicks from Jericho to Hogan. Jericho puts Hogan in a corner. Another Hogan chant breaks out. Jericho hits Hogan with chops in the corner. Jericho whips Hogan into the opposite corner. Jericho charges Hogan but misses a shoulder tackle and flies over the top rope, Ric Flair style, and bumps to the floor. Well, not Ric Flair style, but he flies over the top rope like Ric Flair would. Hogan joins Jericho on the floor, and then Hogan attempts to body slam Jericho, but Jericho manages to escape and pushes Hogan into a ring post. Jericho climbs to the top rope and hits a double axe handle to Hogan's back. Back in the ring, Jericho guillotines Hogan on the top rope. That's the move where Hogan's is leaning on the top rope, and Jericho jumps over the top rope. At the same time, he takes Hogan's head and puts him throat first into the top rope. That's what I mean by a guillotine. With Hogan laying on the middle rope, Jericho attempts to deliver a leg strike to Hogan's back, but Hogan dodges, and Jericho hits the middle rope on the inside of his leg, and he bumps to the mat. Hogan starts to Hulk up. Hogan punches Jericho a few times and then drops 2 elbows on Jericho, but misses a 3rd running elbow drop. Jericho hits a running bulldog on Hogan, followed by a lion salt. And then Triple H's music hits. It's all about the game. And of course, Jericho stops, and he's watching Triple H while Hogan is recovering on the mat. And Triple H is making as Triple H is making his way to the commentator's table. Jericho appears to not be happy about it, but come on, Jericho. I mean, you know what the rules are. You know what the stipulations are. He can't touch you or he's fired. So why are you distracted here? You're being a dumb heel. Keep on Hogan. This is for the title. Anyway, Jericho advances on Hogan, but of course, Hogan is recovered, and he punches Jericho a few times. Hogan whips Jericho off the ropes, but Jericho slides under a big boot from Hogan, and then Jericho hits Hogan with a DDT for a 2 count. Taz asks Triple H if he has something up his sleeve, and Triple H says no, but he says he has a hot tip from the sucking hotline. Meanwhile, Hogan is hulking up on Chris Jericho, and it's the same old shtick. He's doing that. He's shaking his head and pumping his fists, and eventually he stops at Jericho, points at him, and like doing the And Hogan hits a few punches. Hogan hits the big boot, but Jericho manages to stop the leg drop by grabbing Hogan's leg as he approaches Jericho with the leg drop attempt. And Jericho puts Hogan in the walls of Jericho. Hogan reaches the ropes, however, to break the hold. Okay, so Cole says to Triple H that you can't really do anything out here. You can't get in the ring to hit Jericho or stop him from doing anything to Hogan. And Triple H says, well, hopefully I won't have to. Jericho shoves the ref and goes out and goes out of the ring to grab a chair. Jericho comes back in the ring and nails Hogan on the back with the chair. Triple H asks if it's getting cold in here. Like what? Yeah, Triple H says he feels the presence, the presence of the Undertaker. So both Cole and Taz say Undertaker can't be here, and then oh boy, okay. Because as soon as Jericho is about to hit Hogan with the chair, Undertaker's music hits. And again, Jericho gets distracted. Jericho turns to the entrance to prepare for the Undertaker. But again, Undertaker will be fired or suspended. So there'll be some kind of penalty for Undertaker coming out and interfering in this match. But as we see, Undertaker doesn't come out. But Undertaker does not come out to the ring, and that allows Hogan to schoolboy Jericho. And at 9 minutes, 37 seconds, he gets the 1, the 2, and the 3. And Hogan wins to retain the Undisputed Championship. Well, after the bell, since Jericho gets pinned, ending the match, Triple H is now able to get his hands on Jericho again, and that is exactly what he did. After Jericho attacks Hogan after the bell, Triple H makes the save and goes to town on Chris Jericho. He throws a bunch of punches at his forehead and all that stuff. Jericho's able to escape, and he leaves the ring. And Triple H runs after Jericho while Hogan celebrates in the ring, and we cut to black. All right, so this match was okay. I mean, it wasn't horrible. I didn't expect too much out of Hogan, but I was actually impressed with Hulk Hogan in 2002 and what he was able to get away with, as far as his physical ability and maybe with his age and lack of mobility. He still put on a pretty good match, and like I said, he's still super over. So I get why he's in WWF and having this run here, but again, I never was the biggest fan of him having the actual title. So like I said, the match was okay, and it was always fun to get a world title match on TV, even if it was overshadowed by some of the overbooking with Triple H's nonsense and the Undertaker theme being played kind of overshadowed the match. Jericho was his usual entertaining self, telling the crowd to shut up, mocking Hogan with his own ear gesture, and basically being a great heel. And Hogan was his usual self. He was charismatic. He has the crowd in the palm of his hand. Anytime he did something, the crowd ate it up. And yeah, Hogan still could put on a freaking decent match if he has to, and he did. This match was good for like 9 minutes. It was still pretty damn good. I'll put it to you this way: at this time, at this age of Hulk Hogan, like he was like in his 50s. He can put on a better match than Bill Goldberg can put on right now. And Bill Goldberg is probably in better shape than Hogan was at their respective ages. So this should tell you something. The crowd's over for Hogan, but the novelty of his return was still there. That definitely was still there. Like he got when he came back on Raw and Rock challenged him to a match at WrestleMania, people cheered for Hogan. Hogan got chance. WrestleMania, Hogan, same thing. There was more people chanting for Hulk Hogan during the Rock Hogan match at WrestleMania than there was people cheering for The Rock. It was amazing, and that was still going on here. And so the novelty of his return hadn't worn off yet. It would, but it hadn't worn off yet. So the crowd was enjoying this. There were so many people in the crowd wearing I remember what those things were called. Those things are called boas on Hogan's neck that he always wore with the NWO. They're called boas. He wore those. A bunch of people in the crowd were wearing those. Lots of red and yellow. Lots of Hulkamania signs. So let's see where we at here. I'm sorry. Okay, so the story did play out between Jericho and Triple H. Jericho previously cost Triple H the Undisputed title at Backlash about a few weeks prior to this, so Triple H was looking for revenge. And Triple H would get his revenge eventually by beating Jericho in a Hell in a Cell at Judgment Day later this month. But tonight, Triple H cost Chris Jericho with his little Undertaker deception, and he would deny Jericho his Undisputed Championship. But unfortunately, it made Hogan a third wheel in this match, and I never liked the idea of the world champion being played third wheel to anybody. He's the world champ. Even if I don't agree with Hogan having the belt, he is the champ. And I never agree with the world champ in any form, whoever it is. I don't care if it's Hornswoggle, being played as a prop to further advance another rivalry. That never makes sense. The world champ should be the highest priority. And if it's a guy who you don't want to give the highest priority to, don't put the belt on him. It's pretty simple. But I digress. All right, so the booking of this match pretty much was the show the strengths and hide the weaknesses kind of booking style. Because Hogan had a lack of mobility here. He wasn't going to be running the ropes like he would in his prime, and he definitely wouldn't be able to keep up with Chris Jericho. That's for damn sure. So that was made up for by Chris Jericho bumping and Hogan's ability to keep the crowd in the match with his charisma, and it worked and it worked very, very well. Hogan did mostly punch kick, plus his usual stuff like he'll drop elbows and he will do the boot and the leg drop. Although he didn't hit the leg drop, he still was able to attempt it. And to his credit, and I was very surprised by this, Hogan did take a few bumps, including that one where he got low blowed off of Brett's rope. He took a bump. I was very surprised, to be honest with you. So Jericho had to work at half speed, so as not to blow up Hulk Hogan, and which makes sense. And Jericho's happy to do it. I'm not taking anything away from either guy here as far as the booking and the work. They had to put on a match and it had to look good. And Jericho was able to get the same amount of heat that Hogan was able to get, just obviously on the heel side. I mean, both these guys were either cheered or booed, and they were cheered or booed to the extreme. It wasn't like, oh, it's nice, it's Hogan, or whatever, it's Jericho. It was like, yeah, it's Hogan, and boo, it's Jericho, that kind of thing. The only problem with this match was the finish, and that really took away from the match, really lost a lot of points in my mind. Triple H's presence took attention away from the match entirely. Why is he out there? What's he going to do? And that hung over the crowd. It probably hung over the viewers as well. It would have been okay for Jericho to lose clean to Hulk Hogan because, why not? Why not give a decisive win for the champ? Hit the leg drop. The crowd obviously wants to see it, so let's do it that way. It would have been okay for Jericho to lose clean to Hulk Hogan. I mean, how many people have lost clean to Hulk Hogan? Not a bad way to lose. But unfortunately, we didn't get that because we had two times the match stopped, 2 times that Jericho got distracted by some outside interference that never came, and we just had a really stupid finish. I mean, whatever. I like the finish at all. I might have given this match up to an 8 possibly, but no, I downgraded it all the way down to a 6.5. I didn't really. The finish really hurt it for me. Okay. And I'm going to rant a little bit about how wrestlers get distracted by things outside the ring. Okay, so this was the world title match, right? I'm going to go a week prior on Smackdown, where Jericho fought Triple H for the right to have this title match. And Triple H was let's see here. Triple H was ready to finish off Undertaker, and then Triple H was ready to finish off Chris Jericho, and Undertaker starts to interfere. Triple H should know that if you win a number one contenders match by disqualification or by any means, you win the match and you win your chance to fight the world champion. But Triple H actually breaks whatever he was doing. I think he hit a pedigree on Jericho. But then when Taker gets to the ring, Triple H does not pin Jericho. In fact, he shouldn't even run into Taker at all. If Taker runs into the ring, Triple H gets disqualified if Taker makes any physical contact. So Triple H gets distracted and he loses the match because Jericho Schoolboy's Triple H, and Jericho gets the world title match. So obviously, it's Triple H's fault that he got distracted. Same thing here with Jericho. He knows that Triple H can't come in the ring and hit him and touch him in any way, or Jericho or Triple H is fired. So why is he distracted? Same thing with Undertaker. Why is he distracted by Undertaker's theme music? Taker may come out in the ring and hit Jericho, but Taker will get suspended or fired, whatever the ramifications will be. So stay on Hogan, stay on your opponent. It happens in every match. Some dumbass gets distracted by somebody climbing up on the apron every time, and they're ready to hit a finisher. In most matches, especially when you're a champion, who cares if someone jumps on the apron? You're going to win the match by DQ and keep your title. I've gotten sick over the years of that kind of like booking in a match. It's really dumb, and it's just overthinking and just a way to pop the crowd unnecessarily, and it takes away from the wrestlers in the match. All right, so anyway, that's my little rant on that. This match was okay, like I said, 6.5 it is. Couldn't get much higher than that. I'll come back at you with another one. Bye.